and the world is now pulling the rug out from under the U.S. The dollar is going to collapse. The dollar is going to be replaced by gold. Central banks are buying gold to back up their currencies. They're getting rid of dollars. They're getting rid of treasuries. We are headed for an economic crisis, again, that will make the 2008 financial crisis look like a Sunday school picnic. The biggest difference between the crisis that we're about to have and the one we had back then is this one is all in America. It's not going to be exported to the rest of the world. It's not a global financial crisis. It's an American financial crisis.
It's the beginning of the end of the monetary system as we know it. It's not just the US dollar, it's the fiat monetary currencies. So the UK, the euro, Japan, China all have similar debt problems and so on, and are dealing with the same interrelationships, which is the reason you're seeing gold being chosen by the central banks. They want a currency. Gold has always been the main currency, and it's the only non-fiat currency, in other words, not the currency that can't be printed, that they want. And so that's why you're seeing central banks move and sovereign wealth funds move to gold, and that's the nature of the shift of the monetary system.
The current value of the dollar, do you think it's declined too much?
No, I think it's great. I mean, the value of the dollar, look at the business we're doing. No, dollar's doing great. You know, it's very interesting. If you look at China and Japan, I used to fight like hell with them because they always wanted to devalue their yen. You know that? The yen and the yuan. And they'd always want to devalue it. They devalue. And they said, not fair that you devalue because it's hard to compete when they devalue. But they always thought, no, our dollar's very good.
Hey guys, Carlos Cortez here with another episode of Scriptures in Wall Street. I am so pumped to talk about this podcast today. There's so many interesting things going on. Today, we're going to be talking about ZSL, the opposite of silver, and what that means for the economy, what that means for you, and literally what to look out for. As people called me crazy and thought I was stupid, trolling me online, all these things. This idiot is selling silver. Yes, I am. And guess what? I have silver. I'm a believer in silver. But I also know that it's just a trade. I also know that the markets move in ways that don't fit your logic. And that's just the reality. And I'm going to prove that here today. But before I do get into the charts and to flows and how, if you looked at the last podcast, you're probably up, I don't know, 100% maybe. Let me say my disclosure here. Everything on this podcast is meant for information, education purposes only. I'm not giving financial advice. If you like financial advice, you could give us a call, 813-448-3446. And like I said, please like and subscribe our Rumble channel. We have a Spotify channel as well as a YouTube channel. You can go to Scriptures in Wall Street. This podcast is a truth podcast. We're not here to cater to anyone's feelings. We're not here to manipulate anything. We're literally discussing charts from a biblical perspective. A lot of people don't like my views because they say, oh, you bring religion into money. You bring, you're too Jesus-like, or you're too confrontational, whatever they say, right? So obviously, if you don't like me, maybe there's something about you don't like about yourself. Just a question. I don't need to be the most likable guy. My job is just tell the truth. And Jesus wasn't a positive thinker. He wasn't a negative thinker. He was simply a truth teller. He spoke the truth and he got killed for it. So our faith should be 10 toes in a stand, neck and spine just ready, foundationally structured, because attacks will come, guys. And we have to put the armor of God on simply every single day. So I do have like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I want to share my devotion I had this morning, how it literally talks about A, what I'm going through, and B, what the markets are doing. And it's just so powerful, extremely powerful. And I hope it can be an inspiration. My goal today for this podcast is to provide some content that could help you through the confusion and through the noise, because you don't have to go through all that. So today, I wanted to talk about silver, obviously. I want to talk about market volatility and what the Fed chair means to us. So, but more importantly, I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful that you guys are here. I'm grateful for all of you. I've had many conversations with you folks. I had a recent advisor switch careers, so it's just me giving consultations. So bear with me. I'm not a good fit for everyone, so my plate is pretty full right now, and I'm alive. I got a tick, right? So it's like I enjoy being busy. I enjoy being an impact to many of you folks. I've spoken to hundreds of people already, and I'm in love with all you guys. Like how you guys listen to me. You say you know me already. You tell me some awesome words. Maybe you're stroking my ego. Maybe you're hitting some sensitive spots. But regardless, I just want to say I appreciate you all. And I've been doing this for 5 years now with this show. I don't have the following base that many do. And I don't do this for the followers. I do it because I truly enjoy talking about the markets. I truly enjoy predicting what's going to happen. And if I can utilize the gifts that God has bestowed in me, it is my responsibility to share it. A gift, whether you're an artist, whether you're a painter, whether you're a writer, either you're a worship leader, that gift is not meant for you to be like comfort and complacent with it. You have to send it to others. That gift is not meant for you to be selfish with it. Others, they will tend to share it with others. And we're going to talk about Acts 5, how that translates into, I mean, it's just going to hit you different. This podcast is going to hit you different. So I'm excited to get going. So this weekend, I'm actually headed to the Crucible Project. The Crucible Project is a Christian group, and it's real. It talks about men that have dealt with, just men that have maybe broken the 10 Commandments like I have, maybe have dealt with lust, maybe have dealt with just how it destroys your family and how you can become a better person in the eyes of God to benefit others. So I'm going to dive deep this weekend. There's no phones. I'm in a remote location. I am excited to go in this journey. I have no idea what to expect. A room full of strangers, the people I don't know. We're going to get real, raw, and vulnerable. What we struggle with as a man of faith, and we're going to attack. We're going to attack it. We're going to fight these demons. We all have these demons that try to bring us down, and we're going to rebuke them, and we're going to fight them head on and call them out. So pray for me that I come like a new man, renewing of the mind, because I'm doing this to be a better leader. I'm doing this to bear more fruit. I'm not happy with staying stagnant. And I always know that pain is a path. Whenever you have self-inflicted pain, you will grow. Self-inflicted pain brings growth. I want you to remember that. This is why the gym works nice. This is why saving into an index fund of whatever one you believe works in nice. There's discipline. It's painful because you don't have that money and you're putting it away. This is why ice baths are beneficial. This is why conflict in marriages, conflict in relationships, conflict with business partners could be the most intimate thing you could do. I'm a big believer on the other side of conflict is intimacy. And if you're vulnerable enough, you'll have the most intimate relationship with God, with your wife, with your kids. So today, part of my homework was to ask 3 people 3 things that they love about you and 3 things that they don't like about you. And 3, and obviously, how would they like to see change happen if they could? So that was my homework. I've asked 3 people. I've gotten 3 responses. I'm only going to share my son. So my drive to his hockey academy, I asked him, "Hey Nathaniel, what is 3 things that you like about me?" Of course, no judgment. I'm not going to get mad. Be raw and real. The more offensive, the better in my eyes. And long story short, he said, "Dad, you're a good protector, and you're an amazing provider, and I love how you take me to hockey. I love how he calls hockey school. So I love how you take me to school. I love when you pick me up." And I'm like, wow. I don't know if, a 13-year-old can get really deep, but it was just raw and real. But I guess my ego was kicking in. I was like, what else am I? Like, that's it to you? I'm just a driver and I'm a provider. You see, like, our egos get in the way of everything. Our egos are so detrimental to us. And so I'm going this weekend to work on my ego. That's what I'm doing. So the 3 things he didn't like about me, and I didn't want to record him or else I would have. He hates the camera. He's the opposite of me. I wanted him to feel safe and not like fake or some Instagram dude, I'm not doing it for the reels. I'm not doing it for the likes. I'm doing it so you guys can see the vulnerability and transparency. So my son, the negative, he said, "I don't like when you fight with mom." And dude, I was crying inside. Number 2, you're too strict. Of course he's going to say that. I'm like, man, I'm very lenient. You want to know what's strict? Call my dad, your grandpa. And then number 3, which hit me hard, he said, "You yell too much." And then my ego went to another place. I was humbled. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to get humbled. I wanted him to be real, like let it all out. He said, "Pops, you just yell too much." And that's what I struggled with for many, many years. I was terrible. I used to yell at my kids, "Hey, get down here," blah, blah, blah. Because I grew up, my father's a drill sergeant. Literally. My father's a pastor and a drill sergeant. And one of my strengths is dominance, or one of my characteristics. So I've done all these like personality tests. And there's one called the Taylor Johnson temperament analysis. I still have it here on my desk. It's all crinkled up. But on high on this scale is actually out of 100, I'm a 95 in dominance. And so what that basically means is I like to dominate. It's great in sports, it's great in business, but it's not great in relationships. It's terrible in relationships. And so that's me being vulnerable to you guys. I need to continue to work on that. And I thought I was a lot better of not screaming and yelling at my kids and not expecting. But what that actually does, the dominance comes from masking something else. So you show dominance because there's another insecurity that you're masking. So I already know what that mask is. And it's another trait that you're masking of it's an insecurity. And it's also how I've been brought up. Like my dad's Spanish, as well as a military man. So what I'm saying is that there's a lot of things that we can work on ourselves. And it's very, very attractive because the Bible says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing. The other end of that, when he says finds a good thing, he knew in order to sustain your wife and provide for your wife, you're going to have to change. You're going to have to grow up. You're going to have to go through the pain and man the heck up, not just physically, but spiritually as well. And I just wanted to share that because I don't know if this is tracking with any of my listeners, but it's a constant journey that I'm going through. And although me and my wife are fine, there has been some past trauma that I have put her through that I'm working through that and asking for forgiveness. And I just trusting in God that he can restore my earthly desires or lustful desires, I would say, and that my wife will not be hurt anymore. If you currently have money in the bank, a 401k, or even precious metals in an IRA, you may want to listen up. You're going to want to have a place where you have a guarantee on your funds. As we go into a lower interest rate environment, banks will be stressed out when the commercial real estate crisis happens. Right now, you can get a guarantee, yes, a guarantee on your principal, and get a bonus. If you're younger than 65 years of age, we can utilize an insurance-based contract that has been around for over 100 years. We want to help you find a guarantee on your funds that are actually outside of banking laws, outside of securities laws. And guess what? You get a guarantee on your funds. You get a guarantee on your principal. Go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out your information, and let's just see if you qualify. So the first thing I actually want to talk about is the silver. The silver is interesting, guys. Remember our last podcast, I was talking about ZSL, which is the opposite of silver. And basically when silver pulls back, ZSL rises. Now, ZSL is not an investment recommendation. It is only used for trading and hedging. You will lose money long-term in ZSL if you hold it. And when I was talking about it, it was around $1.50. On Wednesday. I'm sorry, it was Thursday, and it was around $1.34. Right now, it's up dramatically at 222. So this is why I said, for those of you that have silver, it's time to take some profits, maybe 10, 20%. Some people have sold all their silver, which I think is crazy, but not too crazy because they're just locking in profits. You literally made 200%. So it is your responsibility to steward that. I mean, silver literally is dropping like crazy on paper. And guess what? We can see the manipulation happening real time. I'm recording this actually on Thursday for my Saturday show. But this is not an overnight thing. This is not going to be a one-day thing. So I'm okay showing you the chart here. But let's go right to the chart. And I said it on SPF. I said it on Patriot TV, Lindell TV, and Scriptures and Wall Street, and anywhere we're syndicated. Guys, this is silver. We had this massive run-up. And this is on a day chart, by the way. If I go on a 4-hour, it's even crazier. This is silver. We are dropping like crazy. We could even see back to 80 levels. Let's see. Let me just find the next demand. So we got a really support level right here at 92 where it's at. So it might bounce back up for a little bit. Let's check out our 2-minute. Yeah, this thing is just tanking in our 30-minute. So I'm in the trade right now. And it is amazing. I'm actually on ZSL. So I'll show you ZSL in a minute, but I just want to show you silver because silver has a bearish trend right now. It officially turned over as soon as we had a death cross earlier this morning. So I said it on our midweek show yesterday. I said, look for silver to start to sell off. Once they find out that the We Buy Gold guys are not going to be in business and liquidity becomes a problem, silver will go back down. Reversion of the mean. This is why we don't get emotional about commodities or red money. Now, I'm a big proponent of silver. I own a lot of silver, more than the average. And I believe long term it will pop back up. to $300-$400. But in the interim, short term, it is going to be manipulated. And I really want to save a lot of investors right now. Actually, it's 93. It is literally falling like crazy. So it might have a psychedelic move up. But you know what's nice is I'm recording this live, and you'll see it this weekend and actually tell me what ended up happening. So it can go this way or that way. It's not going to stay stagnant here. So if it does go down, we have an average trade range of 1048. So right now we're at 93.76. The start on the daily was, let me erase this. Let me get a clean chart here. So here's silver. The start today was at 115, and it just dropped all the way down 20%, 23% to 94. And so what we're going to see is, you see these red traffic lights on the very bottom. Once that third one starts to go down, but our momentum has completely catapulted here. So we made some profits here. We had a November buy. And guess what? If you didn't lock in those profits, you're being greedy. You're being selfish. So lock in those profits, guys. Don't be stupid here. Even if you're here, even if you sell like today and you bought at 17, you made a huge return. All right. So you made 200%, not 236%. Lock in profits. Take some off the table. By the time you watch this, silver probably has gone another 25, 30% down. Possibly. I think it's going to head down even more. So let me go to our 1 hour. Look at this momentum, guys. This is insane. Insane. I told you guys on Tuesday that ZSL would be there to protect you. But of course, I get laughed at. So the opposite of silver is ZSL. Would you look at that? The opposite of silver, ZSL, is a leverage ETF. You will lose money long term if you hold this. So don't hold it. It's just to trade. It is just insurance on your current silver. The average trade range on this is 38%. Obviously, that's going to change after today. But let's look at our 4 hour. So this is all green bars going up, going up. Look at that volume spike. We are having a massive shift right now in a panic, a mass sell-off panic. This makes money when silver goes down. It's the opposite. And I told you guys, silver will get manipulated right back down. I'm not saying it's going to go to zero. What I am saying is it possibly could get to the 80s very quickly. And people will frantically sell. This is going to skyrocket. By the time I started this morning, this was around $1.34. And right now, we are up over about 35%. We're at 2.25. I bought a call option at $2 this morning, yesterday. And I was like, crap, I'm a little too early. And sure as heck, it bangs in at midnight, pre-market. Silver futures were just melting. Completely melting. So what do? I always buy the call option wherever I think it's going. This is why it's so important to have an advisor that knows the markets, that can pretty much predict what it's happening before it even happens. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm just saying it's important to have an advisor that can trade the markets. So if you have ZSL, if you're smart enough to hedge yourself, it might be good to sell 50% now and hold it as insurance, because silver probably will keep going down short term, guys. Short term. I own silver. I own a lot of silver. So let's pull up silver again. Yeah, we are seeing a massive parabolical drop. So silver is down 20%, man. Like this is no joke. So if you bought a call option at $2, and if you listened up, do you really want to know? Actually, no, let me not even pull it up. I'm not going to pull it up. There's no reason to share spilt milk or brag. I'm not bragging, but you right now on my call option, I'll tell you. And let me tell you this. I actually podcasted it before I took the trade. So I didn't take the trade and podcast it about it. That would be unethical. But right now I'm up 155.56. I kind of chickened it a little bit. I only put $1,700 in, and I'm up 155.56%. And yeah, I am actually probably going to sell 25 contracts, lock in some profits, and then I'm going to let the other ride, because I really feel if I pan out, I really feel that we might be back at, there's a zone right here. That's a huge zone. So we're definitely going to 90, and then it's going to retrace. If it breaks through the 90 to 89 number, guys, I'm telling you, that is unreal. And we'll probably will get to it while I'm podcasting. This thing is just melting, guys. It's completely melting. All right, we're at 91.6 from 92. So it is just melting right now as we speak. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, we got a support zone at 90.79. So if it goes through that 90 number, the next stop could be a small one at 87. Think of it as offensive lineman or defensive lineman, right? You got to go through that. The running back has to go. It's like offensive lineman. You have so much momentum, but you got to go through the line. And that is the line at 90. There's another line at 79. Eventually it's going to wear out and people are going to buy in when it's lower. And it'll pop right back up, reversion of the mean. And we could see another parabolic move back up. And that's when we're going to be looking at AGQ. But I think this is going to go to, there's so much momentum. Like, you can't stop this, dude. This is nuts. This is absolutely freaking nuts. Dude, this thing could go to 86, 85 easily, possibly even today. Holy smokes. Again, I'm recording this on Friday. Yeah, man, this is not good. This is not good for anyone that did not sell when I told you guys to sell. I got laughed at. I got straight laughed at. This is reality. This is why I speak the truth. This is why I use the gift of discernment. This is why I go out in faith based on technical and fundamental analysis, so that you guys can take advantage of what is to come. Like, I don't do this and get paid. I literally show you guys the manipulation before it happens and how you can benefit from it. Of course, it's not investment advice. It's education and information purposes only. But daggone, it's common sense. This is so fun. Like, literally, I want you guys to win when the market crashes. Not just the silver market, but the overall market in any markets. Foreign exchange, the American dollar, the banks, KRE, the other, I didn't even tell you about this one. And I saw this coming, and I bought contracts here. I'm actually kind of down on it because I was too early, but it's amazing. But I did short the NASDAQ yesterday, and I got it right here. It's SQQ. I got a call option, a 65 call option. So I'm in the money now. So this goes up when the NASDAQ goes down. Again, this goes up when the NASDAQ goes down. It's the opposite of NASDAQ. I got in at 65. And I'm not selling right now. This thing is up. Let me just check. Yeah, I'm still down on it today. Today, I'm recouping my losses from yesterday because I didn't sell. I didn't panic. And I'm up 129%, still down 44% on that trade on a 65 call. I think I went a little too expensive on that one, but I'm hoping it actually expires today, so you won't be able to get in, but I'm hoping this continues to go up, meaning the NASDAQ is down. And this is the type of volatility we're going to see, guys. The VIX is now over 18, so there's going to be more violent volatility. There's going to be a lot more uncertainty. Guys, do not trust what everyone says. Oh, yeah, silver is going to be the best thing since sliced bread. I'm telling you. Are you talking about long term or are you talking about the future? Because the banks control all the manipulations of the market. Yes, we need silver for military. We need silver for anything with an on-off switch. Yes, there is a lot of silver component in everything. But keep in mind the people that control the silver. The silver is extremely manipulated. So I want to make sure that you understand that the price of silver has been manipulated so bad, so bad. I mean, this is good stuff, man. This is really good stuff. So, yep, silver is going down. I told you enough on my soapbox there. All right, you guys get the point. The other thing I wanted to talk about was, and just real quick, and it's not just silver, it's platinum too. Platinum is going down the same way silver is going down. So right now we're at 21. I don't have any shorts or anything on platinum, but it's correlated with gold, and gold is the same way too. Man, I love these charts. Look, guys, if you want me to look at your portfolio, give us a call. I'm going to tell you real raw stuff, man, like about your portfolio, good things, bad things. But let me take a look at your portfolio. All you got to do is give us a call, 813-448-3446. I actually trade, not full time, but I trade on and off for 15 years. I'm a big options trader. I love options. But I also love the stock market. I love derivatives, and I love the current economies and how we can make money off of it and seeing the manipulations. But one thing I do love more than that is helping people to secure their retirement, to avoid all this, because a lot of people don't have the knowledge to do all this or the time, and that's okay. You don't need it. This is why you need a financial professional that understands the manipulations, that agrees with what you do, that agrees with your lifestyle, your identities in Christ, that agrees that you don't really believe what is going on in the economy or the White House is suitable for you and your family and your faith. It is so important to have an advisor that agrees with you medically, politically, physically, academically, spiritually. Can you say that about your current situation? And if the answer is no, then what are they doing managing your portfolio, managing your retirement? What is your advisor doing today to protect you from a crashing dollar, from silver? If your advisor recommended silver and didn't tell you the risk that associated with it, then you have all your answers there, my friend. If you currently have money in the bank, a 401k, or even precious metals in an IRA, you may want to listen up. You're going to want to have a place where you have a guarantee on your funds. As we go into a lower interest rate environment, banks will be stressed out when the commercial real estate crisis happens. Right now, you can get a guarantee, yes, a guarantee on your principal, and get a bonus. If you're younger than 65 years of age, we can utilize an insurance-based contract that has been around for over 100 years. We want to help you find a guarantee on your funds that are actually outside of banking laws, outside of securities laws. And guess what? You get a guarantee on your funds. You get a guarantee on your principal. Go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out your information, and let's just see if you qualify. And so here we are. Here's the US dollar. All of a sudden, it's spiking right back up. Actually, that's a 30-minute. Let's look at the 1 hour. So another thing manipulated. Typically, silver, it runs the opposite of the dollar. So there's a 2-minute. There's a 30-minute chart, and let's look at the 4-hour chart. So, yep, now the dollar's pumping and silver is going down. So, another crazy thing here. The dollar's pumping. The dollar's pumping. We had a new Fed chair. We'll talk about Kevin Walsh here shortly, what this means to us. But now the dollar is pumping up. Man, look at that sucker, bro. Woo-wee. Golden cross, and that dollar's pumping high. That dollar is pumping high, guys. Tell me that sucker ain't manipulated. You want to crash the price of silver? Pump up the dollar. Pump up the dollar. If you currently have money in the bank, a 401k, or even precious metals in an IRA, you may want to listen up. You're going to want to have a place where you have a guarantee on your funds. As we go into a lower interest rate environment, banks will be stressed out when the commercial real estate crisis happens. Right now, you can get a guarantee, yes, a guarantee on your principal, and get a bonus. If you're younger than 65 years of age, we can utilize an insurance-based contract that has been around for over 100 years. We want to help you find a guarantee on your funds that are actually outside of banking laws, outside of securities laws. And guess what? You get a guarantee on your funds. You get a guarantee on your principal. Go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out your information, and let's just see if you qualify. So the dollar's getting pumped up. This is why silver is going down. Also, this has a lot to do with our new Fed chair. So what do we know about our new Fed chair? So there's a few things I want to share real quick about the new Fed chair and what that means. So basically, whenever leadership shifts at the Federal Reserve, they have different expectations. And so a new Fed basically means a shift in policy, changes in liquidity strategy, and more importantly, economic intervention. As we look at scripture, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, and he directs it like the water course, whatever he pleases. So we understand that the bankers operate under divine sovereignty, right? So what direction is the policy going to move? Who's going to benefit from this new Fed chair? And how basically am I going to steward this? So as I look into the word, I know that Proverbs 13:11 says, wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers it little by little will increase it. So what I want to say is that ZSL, the shorting of silver, it's not a long-term play. It just requires discipline. It requires mismanagement. And God isn't against profit. He gives you the knowledge to be profitable. He is against reckless stewardship. So if you got money and you're blowing it, or you're gambling, or you're doing things that don't honor him, he's going to take it away. And so as we go into these weird times, the confusion of times, right? This is what Satan wants us to believe. Silver is going to be manipulated. ZSL is going to be manipulated. The Fed is manipulated. The green money is not your all be all. The market, the stock market is not our all be all. It's our confidence in God's provision, the wisdom that he gives us. So one thing I will say is Isaiah 41:10, fear not, for I'm with you. I will strengthen you and help you. And another cool thing I wanted to, scriptures real quick is, and forgive me guys, I'm not a Bible scholar, but I love this story. In Acts chapter 5, 1-2. So George MacDonald quoted, half the misery in the world is caused by the people trying to look rather than trying to be. How many people look the part, want to please God, quote unquote, go through the motions, but inside they're doing something else. So that's what this whole story is about. And it reminds me of what's going on right now with silver. Such was the case when Ananias with his means. God is gracious, he says, and his wife Sapphira which means beautiful, wanting to fit in with the believers who sold their goods and share the resources with the new believers who were in Jerusalem for Pentecost. Acts 4:32-7, Ananias and Sapphira sold a piece of land and bought a portion of the proceeds to the apostles. The problem was not Ananias held back some money for himself, but that he was trying to appear more religious than he actually was. This issue was not selfish. This issue was hypocrisy. Acts 5 says, but Peter said, Ananias, why hath Satan filled thine heart to lie to the Holy Ghost and keep back part of the price of the land? And another quote, Oliver Wendell Holmes said, sin has many tools, but a lie is the handle which fits them all. As with Ananias, no matter what the area of sin, a lie can always be found at the root. Act 5 says, while it is not thine own, after it was sold, was it not thine own power? We didn't ask you to sell the property, Peter said to Ananias, but when you did, you could have done with the money whatever you wished. And Acts 5 says, why hast thou conceived this thing in thine heart? Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto God. And basically in verse 3, he says that Peter says, why have you lied to the Holy Ghost? In verse 4, he says, you have not lied to men, but to God. Thus, this is important proof text for the doctrine of the Trinity. Ananias heard these words, fell down, gave up the ghost, and great fear on all of them heard these things. And the young men arose around him and carried him out and buried him. And it was about the space of 3 hours after when his wife, not knowing what he has done, came in. Sapphira had no idea what happened to Ananias because Satan always keeps his victims in the dark. Perhaps there was a time where you were involved in an area of sin and you were concerned about you and you remained in the dark until everything came down crashing. Satan always operates that way. Like Sapphira, his victims are always the last to know of the destruction he has planned for them. We are easily blinded, and that's why we have one another. How I thank the Lord for the brother and sister that will come to me and says, be careful. And Acts 5 says, and Peter answered unto her, tell me whether you sold the land for so much. And she said, yes, for so much. Then Peter said unto her, how is that ye agreed together to tempt the Spirit of the Lord? Behold, the feet of them which has buried the husband at the feet, and right at the door shall carry them out. Then fell she straightward at his feet and yielded up the ghost. And the young came in, found her dead, and carried her forth, buried her right next to her husband. And a great fear upon all the church and upon all that heard these things. So the church was actually driven by fear at that point because they saw these people that basically yielded to greed, and God basically taught them a lesson. He allowed Satan to kill them. How is that prevalent today when we hide our sin? He basically says, don't do this. Don't do this. It leads to death when we do not call our sin out to light, when we don't face it. And so this is so powerful, and how it means to money is because it was about the money. This is why I talk about scriptures, because the number one subject in the Bible is money. And it is important to understand that when God tells you to do something with your money, you do it, and you don't do it in greed. You don't lie about it. And so it's a huge lesson, man, that it literally cost them their lives. Very powerful. More importantly, guys, you don't need to go through all this volatility stuff, man. Like, you really don't. This is so powerful because now we have solutions. We have green money solutions. There's no need to be risking your portfolio in the markets. I'm short in the markets. I'm making money short in the markets. Check out my call options now. This is a day trade. This is not a long-term thing. We all understand the markets will continue to rise, and I think it will rise, 15, 20% year in by year in the NASDAQ. But imagine if you're 65 years old and you just got a rollover that you got to do and you retired, your retirement party, and boom, market's down 15%, and you had the regular Vanguard 60-40. Guys, you are down. You're down right into retirement. How scary would that be? So if you have an old 401k give us a call. We can help you roll it into green money. You're going to be able to protect yourself. Right now, we have a bonus, 29%, depending on your state. If you're in California, you can't be over 48 years old. I know it's crazy. If you're in Delaware, it's not there. It's not in Maryland and some other New England states. Just give us a call. Every state is different, but you can add to this account up to 3 years and get your 29% bonus. Of course, you got to have at least 75 grand for this bonus feature. There is a fee, 0.95. It's not invested in the stock market. You don't get quarterly updates. You get an annual statement because your principal is guaranteed by the strength of the insurance company. So just go to greenmoneysolutions.com. We're also going to be adding some cool things about how to replace my account. Is my account suitable? What is red money? What are the benefits of green money? Major benefits is the FDIC. We really don't trust the FDIC. They don't really have reserves. There's a lot of things that you don't know that most people assume that their money's safe at the banks, but there are different laws that are not really in your best interest. So I'll leave it at that. Maybe I'll do another podcast, a rerun of what the contracts the banks make you sign to have a track, trace, and control agenda. And I think you'll be surprised with the bank bail-ins. Why I'm pro silver long term, but it will go down before it goes up. And if you don't sell when it's high, that's on you. You might be the Aniasis. You might be the Safria. I think that's how you name Safria, Sapphire. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I don't know. But when your account is up 200% and you didn't sell 10, 20, 30, or half of it, that's on you. So this video here, was this guy smart for selling a 1,000-pound brick of silver? I think he was, because look what just happened to silver. Look what's happening to silver.
You won't believe what just walked in at Greenville Gold and Silver. It's got to be heavy when he's waddling like this. He comes over to the counter to deal with my father, Dan. He's able to talk to him for a while and kind of assess the situation after realizing that this guy does, in fact, have a 1,000-ounce silver bar. We decided to bring him back to our VIP room where we can further test it. And, of course, it tested great on this machine, but I needed something that could penetrate or get an accurate test all the way through. So I use this specific gravity. I get a huge bucket of water, I weigh the bar, I tear off the bucket of water, and then I suspend the silver bar in the bucket of water with my father, Dan, here to help me out. And we're able to get the specific gravity, 10.5, a very accurate test for a bar this big. So that is a huge reassurance. Dad is clearly not sold on it though, so I got to do one more test just to make sure everything's good. I got to bust out the Dremel, drill a small hole, and test the fragments from inside. Thankfully, everything was good once again, and we're ready to close the deal out. Now that I got a whole bunch of silver and my client's paid and happy, it's time for a short workout. Figured me and Pops, after all that work, can do a quick set of curls before we send this bar over to its new home.
That ain't easy doing 70-pound curls. Oh, that's not it.
Fortunately for me, I had just the client in mind for a piece this beautiful, and I was able to move it right along. Stay tuned for everything gold and silver. Thank you.
I predicted this. I told you this would happen, guys. And you don't have to be involved. This is red money. This is what red money does. It creates fear and greed. At the end of the day, we all know who does that. Silver is a solid investment. I think long term it will hit crazy spikes, and it's going to bounce right back up because this is normal with commodities. But I want you guys to understand, I love you guys. Pray for me this weekend and go to greenmoneysolutions.com. And also, I want to talk about America First Water. This stuff is life-changing. The machines aren't cheap, but it gets rid of the fluorinated garbage in your water. You can get a machine, have a plumber install it. And in Japan, they have these pretty much 1 out of every 4 homes is considered a medical device. You can cook with it. You can actually clean with it. They have spray pH alkalinity-based water that you can spray your face with it. I've been having mine for over 10 years. And my mom has one. I bought one for my mom for her arthritic pain. Gone. Her stomach issues gone. I cook with it. I smoke turkey with it. I drink every day with it, and it's completely amazing. There's no other purest water out there. You got alkalinity. You have different levels straight from the faucet that it electrifies using platinum plates. So definitely go to americafirstwater.com. Sign up. If you're unsure, just sign up for the newsletters. And I'm telling you, my buddy Tim that writes them, he does all this scientific background where it's well over my head. But go to AmericaFirstWater.com, fill out a newsletter, an email, and we'll never call you, we'll never harass you unless you want us to. Tim will. He's basically my partner on the AmericaFirstWater.com affiliate program. So definitely get involved with the AmericaFirstWater.com. The machines, they have them for every budget. He even has a way that you can finance them if you don't have the money up front, but get one. And all the proceeds that we do make support the show. And anyways, guys, I'm out of here. I got to go help my son pick up my kids from school and finish packing. God bless you guys. I'm out of here. I actually have a special guest today and a very special friend. And we're going to be talking about not just your wealth, but your health too. For those of you that already know, and to my retired clients that listen to our show, you know that the ultimate flex, the ultimate goal is your health. There is no wealth without health, period. So what good is it if I can teach you how to make millions in retirement if your health isn't there? So we always want to keep our health in the forefront of it. And so with today, I have a special friend. We have a special guest today, Nathan DeTracy, and we're going to be talking about the power of peptides, the power of your health, and what we can do right now utilizing this amazing groundbreaking technology that you're going to want to learn about. More importantly, we all understand that Big Pharma doesn't have our best interest financially as well as medically. And we're going to be talking about that. Nathan Trace is a God-fearing patriot. He's one of us. He represents an amazing company that is American-based. And so you guys know that if I'm bringing somebody on my show, they've been vetted, tried and true, and they think like us, and they share the same cross as us. And we just are excited to talk to Nathan today. Nathan, how are you, my friend?
Hey, brother. How you doing? Blessing to be on here, my friend.
Thank you. All right. So I just wanted to bring you on and really, what's up with this peptides? I mean, what is peptides and what do people need to know about peptides, and why is it groundbreaking to really all of humanity?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. You know, if you've been around, you've been listening to, Andrew Huberman or a Joe Rogan, or, whether it's education or its influence, you've heard a lot about peptides lately. And so I would say with the last 5 years, with anything, usually see it coming in at the high level athletes or that type of thing. And then you see the businessmen and women that start to grab onto it, the millionaires and billionaires, and then it starts to float down to the mainstream. And I think we're sitting in a moment right now where there's a lot of mainstream that are curious about peptides. However, most of the peptides that we know that these days are synthetic peptides. And with that means doctors' prescriptions, that means blood work, that means utilizing needles. And so, that creates a barrier, a wall. And so in the last, it's been 10 years of study, but, in the last, I would say, year and a half, we've been very intentional to connect with a company called Neuritas that has invested $100 million in both AI and peptide research to figure out there's actually massive amounts. When I say massive, I'm talking billions and billions of peptides in nature. And these peptides act as almost keys to locks in our DNA that either upregulate or downregulate. And so they can do very extraordinary things with our body, with our health, and that type of thing. So we're just starting to step into that lane, if you will.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing that you say that. And I love what you said about the doctors. I mean, the doctors really don't want you to know about it. I mean, they want the Pfizers of the world. They want to produce their own drug, like even the medicinal properties of marijuana. So groundbreaking, and I appreciate you telling us about it. So, how does the affiliate program work? All they got to do is just buy buy the products and then they're in the system, or how's that work?
Yeah. So here's what I would suggest is you always want to be a product of the product. It doesn't make sense. Like, we don't believe in salespeople that are just selling something to make a dollar. So
Sure.
what I would do is, private message you, ask for your link so that they can go check it out, so that they can get into the store and check out the different products. We can also send you a video that just goes over very quickly each product and how it impacts you and why you might want to utilize that. Pick out products that hit home for you. And if you're forward thinking and you're like, I do want to do this as a business, pick out products that you think will impact your target market. And that's the only thing that you have to do to start. From there, you will have your own link. We'll set that up, and then you can start to share the products.
Unapologetic, I won't bow.